Hey, we're live. It's James Maduke speaking, TrainingSites.io. I built a whole bunch of custom GPTs today, and I want to share the simple process that I use to do that. I want to show you the one that I built, and I want to tell you a little bit about why I think it's really important to start building custom GPTs and applications again if you're interested in starting, building, and growing any kind of education business where you're trying to earn money by helping people learn what it is that you already know and what you're passionate about. So, what did I actually build? How does it fit into the whole education space business? What's the big picture here? I built an app, and I'll show you this one right now. It is available for everyone at trainingsites.io/join. If you haven't joined the community, it's free. I'll show it to you right now just so you get a quick look at it. This particular one is about a task that I do on a regular basis 3 or 4 times, and it is getting ready for Zoom calls. It's like I have maybe 2, 3, 4 Zoom calls in a day on a regular basis. I always find myself trying to get everything organized and make sure I've got my messaging right for the person that I'm on the call with. And it doesn't matter if it's someone that is working with me, if it's someone who's a potential customer. There's just all sorts of different kinds of Zoom calls. It'd be great to be able to have a thing that just I can just basically tell what the call's about, and it gives me a framework and everything that I need to make sure that I can do professional calls. So I built one. I went through a simple process, and then I'll show it to you, and then the process. And again, I'll make all of this available, the prompts and everything inside the Training Sites community. So just a little side note here. You take a look at this image here. When I built this, and I'm gonna give you the prompts for it. When I built this, I did not have to code anything. I did not come up with the prompts. I asked the AI tool to create the prompts that I could give to the AI tool to actually create it. And the part that's really cool about this is just because Google came out last week with the text to graphic, it actually created the graphic here that you see. I had nothing to do with it. I didn't even prompt it. It just kind of showed up with a custom GPT that I was doing. And if you're not sure what a custom GPT is, just so that we have it in context, OpenAI announced these November 6, 2023. And basically think of it this way. It's a set of instructions with some background information that's available that takes you or allows a series of prompts to be put in a sequence to get a specific outcome. So normally when we prompt stuff, right, it's like you have a prompt, a request, you get a response, and you put it together, right? You put it together so that you have getting ready for a Zoom call. You may have to do 5 or 10 prompts to get ready for it for the different pieces of getting ready. What a custom GPT does is it says, hey, I need to get ready for my Zoom call. Set it up so that I can just give you a little bit of information and it will give me everything that I need to get, before the Zoom call. So it basically saves a whole bunch of time, energy, and effort from us not even have to bother prompting because a custom GPT is about that one specific task. And the one that I did in this case was getting ready for a Zoom call. So let's open this up. I'll show you how it works and then we'll go from there. So I'm just going to open this up in a new window so that we can see it. And it opens up my custom GPT. And let me do it this way so that we can see it a little bit better. So hopefully you can see the screen. Let me see if I can get it a tiny bit bigger. So it works here. We'll make it a little bit bigger so everyone can see it. There, that may be a little bit better. Okay, so this is called the app I built, custom GPT is called Zoom Ready. Your personal marketing strategist generate personalized prep guide, talking points and next steps for every Zoom call so you can show up sharp and ready. So that is my custom GPT. And right now it is free for everyone. And I have some kind of prompts to get started here if you aren't sure. And this is ChatGPT. So there's always the area in the bottom here. You can just start asking questions, but I'll use this one here to make it easy. Help me prepare for a discovery call with a new lead. So I'm going to click that. And did you see what it said there? Searching my knowledge base. So I put a whole bunch of background information in, and I'm going to show you how that did that just after this. So great. Discovery call with a new lead is a key moment to build trust, uncover needs, and position your solution clearly. Let's get you fully prepped. To tailor everything properly, could you tell me a bit about the call? And this response that came out, I didn't put that in. That's ChatGPT that has done that. Okay, who am I meeting with? What's my background or service? So this works for any background or service that you're in. What do you know about what they're doing, what their business is about, and how long is the call scheduled for? So in this case, I'm just going to go and say, paste it in. And this is one I just basically did some dummy content, but you would put your information in. Who am I meeting with? I'm meeting with Sarah Thompson. It's an event planning company. From what I gathered, I was an intake form on LinkedIn. Obviously, if it was a web form or someone that you reached out to, you'd put that in. So she's been business for a few years and she's trying to streamline some of the back end processes. And I said, I run a consulting business that helps small business owners automate their day-to-day operations. And I have a package called the Operations Accelerator that might be a best fit for her. And it talks about this. So outcome for me is I just want to make sure that we get a follow-up session or some kind of assessment done or a small paid engagement at all possible. And it's a Zoom call. Okay. So I'm just going to click enter. I basically added the background information based on ChatGPT saying, hey, we got a Zoom call coming. Let's get ready for it. So I'm just going to click enter. And what's going to happen is it is taking my response and it's going through based on the fact that I set this ChatGPT up to help people get ready for Zoom calls. It says, hey, thanks. That's everything that we needed to get ready. And I now have a working document or something I can keep open that is available for me as a snapshot of what the call's about, what the purpose is, where am I, who am I talking to, what is it all about. So what's the call goal is there? A 5-point agenda is set up for me. Feel free to share. It uses a loose guide. And again, this is just stuff. It's got some opening lines, things that you want to find out about. Think about it. When you go to a Zoom call, and especially if you're in some kind of business situation, is it ad hoc? Are you like flying off the handle and moving around and going, oh yeah, who am I talking to again? What page are they on when they you want to try and make sure that you can get some kind of consistency that has an outcome that you want so that you're ready. In this case, I was picking Zoom calls. So it also came up with talking points. It knows me, my business. It knows them, their business. It's now got a bit of a features, advantages, benefit put together. Just some ideas are there. Some discovery questions to ask Sarah, anticipate and prep for objections. So these again are all custom about what's going on with the person that you're meeting. Reminders, material setup, just make sure that you're all set, ready to go. Got lighting, something ready in front of you. You got your CRM set up, those kind of things. It's even got an email template to do the follow-up if you want to be able to do that. And then just a couple reminders to get started. And here's the one, this is one that's interesting. So remember, this is ChatGPT. I don't have to stop here. I can say, give me 5 extra features added and benefits. Or I want the goal to be a paid thing. This is my program and this is how much it costs. Update the response to it. In this one, it says, or want to help, let's do, I'm just going to say here, and this is new. I haven't tried this before, but I'm going to try it right now. I'm just going to say create a single page visual before and after for Sarah. So I'm basically, this is a new thing. Remember when I'm doing this, ChatGPT didn't have the ability to create images directly within ChatGPT. This came out last week. So it's basically going to create a visual for me that I can use either as a reminder for myself and or be able to share it if I'm doing any screen sharing or thing like that. So there we go. It's finished. I'm just going to click preview. Let's see what happens. Hey, there we go. I have a before and after that's all set for me. Just some examples of stuff that's going over. And again, I could have updated this or change it, but this is based on the discussion that we had, and it's created the actual content for me, which is pretty cool. I can download that. I could go and change it, edit it, but it's now available for us directly within the tool. That was pretty cool. So again, if I wanted to change that, I certainly could. but I'm now ready for every particular Zoom call that's there. Now you're probably saying, okay, well, that's fine. You did one for Zoom. What else can you do? Well, let's go take a look at the process that I went through and then how you can look at it when you're thinking about how am I or what am I going to do and create these custom GPTs for my students slash customers. Now, I use an example of actually using it, but I want you to think about where this fits in the world now of AI and all of the content that is being generated. In the past, we often spent, especially if you're in small business, it's like you did this thing called lead generation or join my newsletter. I want to be able to get you to join my, do my newsletter so I get your email address. A lot of times it was about here's a checklist, here's an infographic, here's some piece of content that has value. Come and download something or buy an entry level of something. The content by itself does not have the same value as it did before. I think that what's more important now is our ability to get engaged and help people create their own content in our market that relies on us to clarify, personalize, organize, and mentor through the use of the content. And custom GPTs are an excellent way to do this. Because in my situation, all I need to do right now is if I have this one, and I've created a couple during the day, but I can go and use this one and just say, hey, you want access to my custom GPT on how to get ready for a Zoom call? Here it is. Come join my community. It's free. I can use this if I pick one that's important, maybe it's something that I sell for $50 for lifetime access to it or what have you. But this is an opportunity to have the application of the content, the implementation of the content. That's the part where the value is, not regurgitating the content. And that's why I think this is so special. So here's the process that I went through. I'll go through this quickly just so that you can actually see it. And if you haven't already, this is my trusty mind map software, Xmind. And I just put my talking points here, but I think to go through them just so that you see how this happens would be a really good start. And then what I'll do in the next videos, we'll actually go step through step and do it. And just as a caveat or a reminder, I did this and created the custom GPT that you saw only with prompts. I didn't code anything. I didn't do anything fancy. It was cutting and pasting prompts that I generated. And this is basically what I did. The first thing I did is, and again, I've included the prompts in the trainingsites.io campus community. I basically had a prompt that I put together that said, hey, I'm thinking of doing custom GPTs for my customers. I want 100 ideas for custom GPTs that these particular kind of people would use. Came up with 100, so I have 100 possible ideas for custom GPTs. That's what I asked for. I also took a look at them and I said, you know what? There's some ones that are there, but evaluate of those ones, which are the ones that are the most troublesome, that have the biggest challenges, that waste the most time, that cost the most money. So I used a little more evaluation on it to make sure that I had some good ideas that were worthwhile creating. And then I said, you know what? How much can we actually solve here? If I create a custom GPT, what is enough to get by and what is too much to overwhelm? So I put together a little bit of an idea and a scope of it. And then when I did that, I said, okay, this is the bare minimum. Should that be a custom GPT? Or do I really need to have a micro SaaS or a small application built to do the same thing because it requires a whole bunch of extra pieces? And again, that's an interesting one. I have a whole other series of videos about micro SaaSes and creating applications for your education business. So we'll cover that in another video. In this case, after doing the idea, the evaluation, the scope, figured it's best to be a custom GPT. And then I built the custom GPT, and I'll show you the actual prompt I used to do that. And after that, that's where you normally stopped. Like when I first started doing this in January of 2024, the first ones that I built, you stopped there. You built the custom GPT, that was it. And whenever you used the custom GPT, the only place it got answers from was what the GPT or ChatGPT was trained on. You didn't have access to the internet or any additional documents, anything like that. It was just simply, hey, um, Here's what I want you to ask the person. They're going to answer the questions. You spit something out. The part that's impressive now is that we can do deep research or add our research and our domain knowledge, the stuff that we have, whether it be documents or PDFs or videos, we can make that all available now as a foundation or additional information that ChatGPT pulls from while it gives that particular response. So I created a prompt for deep research, and then I actually did the deep research. And I use 4 tools on a regular basis. Perplexity.ai replaces Google search, has a deep research function. I use Claude, which doesn't have a deep research one, but they have an expanded kind of one that gives you a lot of depth. I used Gemini 2.5 deep research tool, which just came out last week. Absolutely awesome. And I used the ChatGPT deep research tool as well. So I had 4 huge documents with everything you need to know about getting ready for Zoom calls, whether that be the technical stuff, the physical stuff, the personal strategies for doing it. I had all sorts of research done. And then what I did is I made it available and published the custom GPT. So that's the process that I went through. Again, sorry, I was showing the wrong screen here. Build a custom GPT, create the prompt for deep research, and publish a custom GPT. So let's take a look how we actually put this together. I'm looking at one of the chats that I basically put together, and this was the one that started about getting the scope right. So it's not too much, it's not too little. And this is the chat that I was having with ChatGPT when I was getting this prompt ready to be able to create the actual custom GPT. And then I'm just going to scroll up a little bit here. And I basically was telling, hey, this is what we want to do. And the important part here is, I just said everything they're doing. I said, what is it that we need to include in this custom GPT? And it said, here's a breakdown of what your custom GPT can include as features for prep workflows or Zoom calls. And it gave me 7 pieces that would be a good idea to include in the custom GPT. And it broke it into a pre-call checklist generator, a call briefing, custom talking points, action items, tracking and planner, next steps, call summary assistant, on-screen confidence booster, and then some additional setup questions. Remember, when someone uses a custom GPT, the custom GPT asks some questions up front to let it know about the person who's requesting or working with it, what their situation is, and what the background is, the purpose of why they're actually using it. So it gave me some additional questions, and it said, hey, do you want to get help writing this put together? And I said, well, hang on first. That was a really good one to get started. I thought it was great, but I said, you know what? Maybe we better see if there's something more that might be helpful that I can add to it. And again, this is the one where the scope becomes important. And then here's a deeper list. So it added some additional things. Prep from past calls, clarity on goals, presentation prep and shareables. Do you want to be able to create PDFs and or slide decks or things that are available here? It gave me all of these cool things, but I was wondering if it's too much. Should it be an actual app? And the thing that came out from Google just 3 or 4 days ago was the Firebase Studio, which basically allows you to do exactly what I'm doing now, but create an app that is deployable, that people have to log into, that you can charge for. So I was looking at this and said, would that be better as a Fireplace app? And basically it gave me a little bit of a pros and cons between the two, and which one would be better or which one would be worse to actually be going through those. So it did that part. And then, I was looking at it and I said, oh, that's kind of cool, but I think let's try the basic one and get it working first. Work out the details and steps for me using the first iteration. So that first part that it gave, and here's what it did. Purpose, structure, prompt flow, outcome, everything, the steps here. I didn't do any of this, not a word of it. Here's the important part right here. You'll enter under custom GPT instructors, behavior and personality, copy it. That's all I did is I copied the prompt that it gave me when I created it. And it basically had all of the stuff that I needed to put it together. Follow-up email draft, confident, optional shortcuts, help me prepare. These are the additional ones that were there. It said format this as a JSON config for upload or create prompt templates that you can use for each section. So I was just pretty lazy. I said, hey, give it to me. And all that it did was create the JSON. I copied this actual one and it gave me everything that I needed to do to get started and upload it. And in fact, that's all that I did as I followed the instructions that were there. And I ended up with my very own custom GPT that was done for me. This is drop dead simple. I can create these much faster than I can going to Canva, trying to figure out an infographic or building a checklist. This is something that has far more value for the people that we're trying to help compared to more content. It's the application of the content. This is a great lead magnet or someone to get into your community, into your campus, or even as they get a little more complex, or you can find tools that they're incredibly helpful for. We're in a situation where this is another stream of revenue for you. So if you haven't already, please make sure to go to trainingsites.io/join. Join the community. It's here. Everything's available inside for you. Like and subscribe to the channel. And what I'll do tomorrow is I'll actually go through the actual process of doing this live with another custom chat GPT application, I guess you want to call it, just a custom GPT that we can use to help you start, build, and grow in your education business. This is James Maduke speaking. Take care. Expect the best. We'll be back tomorrow.